Yep.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beneath the Hollow Moon, where folklore burns slow and the strange never fades. I am your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Lorilei Potvin, and tonight we are following the trail of Dogman, Werewolves, and Lycans. And we may go a little sideways, as we sometimes do, but we're quite excited about tonight's segment.
We're ready. We're on TikTok. Hi, everyone. I always forget to open the live monitor. I got to open that. We are back. Hi, Kirby's100. We are back on TikTok.
Oh, that's so good.
I love it. First time for Beneath the Hollow Moon on TikTok. So it's our maiden voyage. I'm just opening the live thing, so I'll keep popping back and forth. We're not on Instagram tonight, but you know what? It's hit or miss with Instagram. And I think Monday night it said it would show I was live, but I couldn't find me on there. And my usual thing I have to do to go live didn't work. So I thought, let's head us over to TikTok now that we got the hack working again.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Heidi. Heidi, they were calling for you last night. I noticed Kerrilynn and I were on our wonderful Michelle DeRoche with the Outer Realm last night. And people in the chat are going, where's Heidi? I need Heidi. I saw that. And Michelle's second night is tonight, you guys, right after us in 2 hours on the Outer Realm. Mm-hmm. So, hi, Contessa.
Hi, Contessa.
Thanks for being here.
I was thinking about... well, just wolves in general. Like, so many people have that fascination with wolves or feel in alignment with wolves. And I co-hosted a retreat near Halliburton. And we took our group of retreaters to the Halliburton Wolf Forest Center. And it was amazing. And it was in the fall, so there were hunters that had dropped off the carcasses and the leftovers after they had done what they were doing, and brought all the leftovers for the wolves to have. So we actually showed up during feeding time, and some people were not keen about it, but I was right up there at the glass. Breathing heavy on it, oh my gosh, watch them as a community, how the female supports the alpha, the head female supports the alpha while he's eating and protecting him. It was all fascinating, and I loved it.
Our house is Wolf City. I've shown you before. I got it because they have Junoween at Michael's craft stores over here in North America, and there was the most beautiful wolf door knocker. I have it outside my door. I painted the eyes like an ice blue. They didn't look realistic anyways. I now have a resin mold for it. And my partner Dell downstairs, I said it looks like a frat house in our living room, because he's got all these wolf banners everywhere. And I have embraced my witchy side. I pulled it out. I could not find a grimoire that I liked, or Book of Shadows, where you put your little secrets and stuff in. So I made this wolf, you guys. This is a mold I have, and made my own. I decided I might as well make my own that I like. So I embrace the wolf too.
Love it. And I don't know if it's fearlessness, the loyalty, community. Why do you think it is that?
I think that because it's even romanticized in a way that wolves mate for life. And like you just said, how the female alpha supports the male alpha. It is about community. Like, again, going back to my partner, Dell, he's done a lot of jobs, but he's definitely worked in the bush as a prospector. He has some crazy stories of wildlife that he's run across, including wolves. And he's told me since day one, I've been with him for years. He said, if we're out in the woods, because you go out to the camp up here or cottage, depending what you call it. We're out in the stick.
Up north is camp.
I know, because you're a Northern Ontarian too.
Yep.
But anyways, he says the wolf you see is not the one you need to worry about. That's the decoy. You better be looking behind you. And even orcas, they're called the wolves of the sea.
The ones that are tracking you.
Yeah, well, even orcas, they're called the wolves of the sea because they do the same with the family structure, the social, the hunting. They're so intelligent. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
You're going to say something? Sorry.
Nope.
So it's a beautiful thing. And then, we're picking different topics every week. And we are hearing more and more and more about dogmen. Or Dogman all of a sudden. Never mind the fact that historically, going back through history, I think it's 100 years after the birth of Christ, they're talking about an actual people that roamed the earth that had the head of a dog, but looked like a humanoid covered in fur. They did not use language. They used telepathy as well as barking and growls and things like that. And then the werewolf or Lycan, depending on what you want to call it, has persisted through time. Mm-hmm.
This is the extreme polar opposite to 1985 Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox. I think I was 14. Yes. I was 14. So the extreme opposite.
Or Twilight.
Twilight. Yeah, Twilight.
I was not Team Jacob. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Were you?
I was team Edward, always.
Oh, I was definitely Team Jacob.
Good question. Victoria, right? Is that Victoria?
No, it's Kat.
I always get
Kat Ward.
I'm sorry.
Paranormal Heart. Mm-hmm. I always want to put the in front. The Paranormal Heart.
And I see when Victoria's here and I see yours, and I kept hearing inside my head as I'm looking, it's Kat. But what do I say? Is it Victoria? Yeah. Hi, Kat. And she's got a good question. Do you think Dogman has been here longer than we think, or is it new?
No, I don't feel it's personally that, and I don't necessarily have any facts to back that up. But hi, Susan, Team Jacob, all the way. I also feel, because there's theories about it being demonic or a demonic manifestation, interdimensional. I think there's the potential for it to be interdimensional.
Well, I think they may be. And then you hear different. I found while you were at work this afternoon doing what you do, I found some more, I think, real life dogmen or dogmen, I say when there's plural, I guess, that were caught on trail cams. But the other thing I came across, and it was one video, I came across a whole bunch of crazy stuff, including Christopher Columbus talked about the dog people, St. Augustine, St. Christopher supposedly was rumored to be an actual dogman, 10 feet tall. And then this was the creepy, weird part, but I could not find anything else on it. It was mentioned in one video clip. Somebody had thought they had shot at a dogman, and it was deceased. And the authorities, and we're not talking police, we're talking higher up, showed up, and they were told, the person was very disappointed and said, you just shot one of our operatives.
So this is where the weird blurry lines come in then, because I was under the impression or understanding that Dogman was Dogman always. Feral and all of that, cannibalistic, fierce, those frightening, where werewolf is transformation. So are you saying those St. Christopher was always a dog, or he could transform? Because wouldn't that be a werewolf then, not a dog man?
Nope. Apparently he was a dog man, and apparently he was able to communicate somehow with the humans, and he wanted to be good. He wanted to be known as helpful and to help people, but people were terrified of him. But as I guess it's a rumor, a tale, he prayed to God and prayed and wanted to become a human. And so they said, if you want to be known well, not want to be known as a good being, I'll say a dog man, you need to continue to help people. And so there was a very deep river where he lived, apparently, but because he was so tall, people, I guess, learned to trust and get past his appearance, and he would take people on his shoulders and go across the river, helping them to cross safely. And then, as the tale goes, if I remember, he took this one little boy on his shoulders, and this little boy kept getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And he said, I don't think I can carry you any further. And as the story goes, apparently the child identified itself as a representation of Christ. And this is what I carry, the weight of the world on my shoulders. And apparently this is how they had this interaction. He had a communication with this little boy and said, I wish to be a human. And apparently what I found, he went to bed one night and woke up a human the next day.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And yes, Dell is right. Dell says Dogman showed. Yeah, you're right. I saw this too. Library of Alexandria. The demigod God was actually Anubis. That was talked about as well. Not quite qualified as a dogman, but I know Christopher Columbus, it talked about. There's been so many stories about this then. And I did not write down the name of it. There is a condition within a certain type of people. They are called I wrote it down, guys. Give me a sec. Cyanocephalopods or something. And it's supposedly a race of the dogmen that lived about 100 years, where they were discovered after Christ was walking the earth. And now a certain part of Mexico, people have this gene where I'm sure you guys have seen it. They're completely covered with hair everywhere, except for their eyes and their lips. Have you ever seen these people? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they say it's a genetic default, if you will, depending, I guess, on how you look at it. But I also seen some research saying they believe these people are descended from these dogman type people that roamed the earth 100 years after Christ was here.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something to consider.
Well, plus, can you imagine, and I've seen a lot of these people were getting jobs with traveling circuses and stuff because they literally look like a werewolf, or what we would think, except they're completely covered. And especially if you're a female, I think that'd be very difficult to have that much hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a little, like I said, there's so much.
I'm still confused by that. I'm still confused about that. I just thought that Dogman was super feral and frightening. So that gives me a whole other something to consider.
Okay, but the difference, with werewolves can't elect to change, but the legend and lore is they get bit by another werewolf or attacked, and then every full moon they have no control and they transform. But Dogman is a species that supposedly does not transform. It walks around in that form at all times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I understood too. Right. Should we do a few hellos?
Yes, let's say hello. Do you want me to highlight and you say hi, or what do you want to do? You want to do it the other way? You want to highlight and you say hi? What do you want to do?
Oh, you can highlight.
Okay, so we got...
Hello, Kirby's 100. Thank you for being here. Julie Dow, hello. Contessa Martin.
Hi, Contessa. Hang on. This always happens when I scroll down. Heidi's here. Doesn't want to highlight for me. Highlight.
Hello, Heidi Girl from Boulder. Cindy Waghorn, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Kurt W75. Hey, Laura and Kerrilynn. Hope both of you are doing great this evening. We are doing great this evening. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you. Okay, Heidi, I see that you're saying hi to Kurt and Jenda. So if we can't see you, because Facebook's not been that good about us letting see comments. So if we're missing you, please forgive us if we can't see you. And then Del had to point out he was here for what I said about it looking like a frat house. Don't knock my wolves.
Right.
We got Kat. She says she loves the makeup.
Thank you. And you know what, guys? I got Jackie Collins. Hello. Thank you for being here. So I've got all this makeup on, and I can hear my dog starting to bark. We're supposed to be here, right? Just like by 7, so we can start.
Yeah.
To 7:10 as possible. And there's like knock, 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 knock at my door. And it was a delivery person. I kept looking out the little, have this octopus stained glass covering the window to go outside. And I'm like staring at it like this while he's taking the photo. So I'm sure like there's like this image that is like,
I was on the front steps with my hair up in like a bun and no ears. I'm sure people are going by going, what the heck?
Get off the porch already. Go. I'm gonna get it, but
I need to do my wolfing.
You should have just opened the door and growled, I suppose.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah. Hi, Susan Murdoch. I'm glad that you love this. I love this topic too. Please share thoughts and theories and favorite movies, stories, folklore, whatever you got. We'd love to hear it in the chat as well too.
So Kurt says we look awesome. So we do. I love how they do something different every episode. We plan it, you guys. We plan it, and we have so much fun. It's Halloween every week.
This part we kind of do always last minute, but we pull it together pretty good.
Oh, Heidi, that's so sweet. She says, was just typing love your vibes. Beautiful ladies. We love
you.
Let's see. I don't want to miss. Oh, okay. I got that question from Kat. That was a good question. Susan Murdoch. She shared this. So Team Jacob.
Team Jacob.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've got Mish from the future. Hi, Mish.
Good day.
Good day. Mish is over in Australia. So it's Friday there already in the morning. She's already started the weekend. So Kurt says, hang on, I'm showing you. My computer doesn't want to cooperate.
Kurt W75 is saying, I think Dogman has been around for a long time, but I'm not exactly sure how long. Mm-hmm. There's reports.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for a long, like you said, like way before, right? Jody McGrath. Hi, Jody. Hi, ladies. Loving the makeup. So, Kerrilynn, was it a dog boy that I caught in pick at the cemetery? See, that's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a dog man, but like baby dog boy.
But they've got to reproduce. So just like Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Do you want me to show sorry, I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
My ADHD neurodivergent brain.
And me too. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Stick me in the corner like a bad puppy. No, finish your thought and then I'll share. But it's about Jody's picture. So I have that picture. And, if you talk about it potentially being a demonic manifestation, I said it was demon dog. But
hellhound.
Hellhound. But we can show it again, Jody, because it's a great capture that you got.
I'd love to see it. I would. I really would.
Let me see if I can pull it up without stressing out.
Okay. I can continue saying hi while you're doing it then. So Kat's asking the question, are dogmen able to transform into a human, or is that their normal form? So I think that's their normal form, the dogman versus werewolf. How about you, Kerrilynn?
That's what I was under the impression of.
Kimberly Sage says, hi, ladies. Hi.
Hi, Kim.
Thanks for being here. Hang on, let's see. We got Julie Jean Bassett. She says, hi, Lorilei, Kerrilynn, and everyone. I'm going to give her a shout out. I always do. You guys, if you need help with your animals' earth side, she's also a pet medium. She's helped me with some of my animals. I know, Kerrilynn, you've worked with Julie too with your animals. If your animals are doing crazy stuff and you're at your wit's end, and I know sometimes we are, and you're going to thinking, how can I get through to them? Julie's your lady. Also, she is a shamanic practitioner. She's an incredible healer, even with animals as well. She blows my mind with the healing she's done. And so check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. And Julie, I swear to God, I'm going to stamp that on the inside of my eyeballs. And I know she's got a new website for the shamanic practice. It's www. And then I forget the rest.com, but you got to fill it in the chat, please. And I do it every time, every show. I'm sorry. So Kat saying, I think they are descended from them too. Let's see. Everybody's just saying hi. Our chat. We have the nicest people in our chat, don't we?
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's.
And you guys really, I mean, it's great. It's great questions.
Mish always. No, go ahead. Mish always has the comedy. Dogman is a bit rough, ROUGH, and then she put rough, RUFF, rough.
Love that.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, Jenda is either napping with kitty cats or next to Kurt. LOL. Okay. I'm guessing that somebody at your house is then. I gotcha. Okay. Susan Murdoch. I'm reading a series by Iris Beakerhole. That's a last name. That has werewolves and a subspecies that contracted I'll say a bug, because we have to be careful with that word on YouTube, unfortunately, that creates werewolves. Wow. Please share the name. I'm all in. I'd love to read it.
I'm trying to find that photo.
Well, go ahead. Take your time. We got CP Struts or Struts Shear. Hello, ladies. Well, hello. Welcome. And then Kurt says, she left me on cat duty for right now, Heidi. She has to let her parents' puppy dogs out. They went out tonight, but she will be back soon. Okay, that must be Jenda. Gotcha. And Connie says, you two are so funny and have such great energy together. Well, thank you. Thank you. We have fun together. We have lots of fun together. Let's see. Something. Okay, what did I miss that comment? Mish said, what you planned this? LOL. Oh, I know what she's talking about now, our looks. No, we just wake up in the morning looking like this, so we work hard not to, usually. Heidi says, what were you going to say?
Oh, sorry. I got it finally, Jody.
Okay, hang tight. We're almost at the bottom. So Heidi says, my first thought on the topic is Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf. She says, yes. I don't know why. I already told you what the name of this is. Dell, before we went live, he goes, in Japan, lore, L-O-R-E. He goes, not lore, because that's what everybody calls me, by the way, guys, L-O-R. He says the seven-tailed fox is a trickster spirit. That's a kitsune. I told you that, but that's not to do with wolves. Foxes and wolves are very different, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Mitch says there's a cartoon movie released this year, Dogman. Really? I did not see that.
I didn't know that either.
There's documentaries coming out all the time about Dogman, but boy, we'll have to check that out. We're almost at the bottom, then I can't wait to see this. Maybe Bigfoot is a dogman and very elusive. Oh, I just had the worst thought. I'm going to share it, and it's not bad, but I hope I don't mean it with disrespect. Wouldn't that be awful if Dogman was the Bigfoot's pet? I know it's not, but I had that vision all of a sudden.
Do they have pets? Do you think Bigfoot has pets?
I don't know. Well, but I guess I would think if it was Bigfoot, I should say, not Bigfoot and Dogman, is food can be an issue sometimes because you'd have another mouth to feed. But I could see that maybe they would, because, pets pets, look at all that pets do for us, including protection, guard dogs, letting warning system. I don't know. I think that's a good question.
Us humans, Mush says, we're the pets.
You
Like
never
in
know.
Bugs Bunny, right? Where it's got a little bunny rabbit, gonna pet it and call it
I
George.
know.
Do I hit share screen?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You can share it. Go ahead. Connie's got a question for us. I'll start. There you go. Then just hit share. You did it. Look it. Okay, so we got to see where is it hiding behind the stone, sort of up towards the top.
Mm-hmm. Can I, if I do this?
Yeah. Go ahead. There you go. Oh, what is that? So you thought it was a hellhound, right?
So, Jody, if you're in the chat, you can help me if I forget some details. We do this thing called the Pioneer Cemetery Crawl. So we do investigations at Pioneer cemeteries. And when we got there, I think it was shortly after we got there, Jody had said that she thought she saw a dog running, and it's close to a farmer's field, kind of in the middle of nowhere. There is a house beside and a house across. But we didn't see an animal continuing to run. And,
wow.
And none of us were seeing that, but it was, she just snapped some pictures and that's what she caught in the photos, but we didn't see that when we were there at the time. It was lots. It was a lot of crazy shit that happened.
Wow.
I'm going to be
mindful. No, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, so there was lots that happened after that took us to the next cemetery. That was the story sort of continued, but that was the, I don't know, demon dog
baby. Look at that again. I'm cleaning my glasses here. Wow, look at that. Oh, can you pull him down a wee bit? The pic?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
No.
That's creepy. That almost looks like something demonic. I'll give it a demon dog. Yeah, looking at it.
Wow. Yeah, Jody says when you zoom in, but I can't seem to adjust it properly. When I zoom in, it's, yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to send it to me? And while we're talking, Dell says hellhound or shepherd protector. If you send it to me, I might be able to crop it because she said it. Jody says if you zoom in, it's got red-looking eyes.
So I did crop the bottom. I just can't. I can, but I don't know how to. Oh, sorry,
well, send it to me. I might be able to do it if you can send it on Messenger. Or is that going to be hard?
I don't. No, it shouldn't be hard.
Okay, where's the phone I want? Yeah, and I'll work on that. I want to say hi while you're doing that on TikTok because Michelle Wilfong is over there. She is my moderator and she is an incredible mod. I'm so thankful for her. She's saying hello, Lorilei and Kerrilynn. And she said, that's what I was just thinking. The circus would exhibit them and take advantage of these people. The people that is called excessive hirsutism. She also added great photo. You guys, Michelle Wilfong lives in an haunted apartment and she has an incredible TikTok. She shares all kinds of content over there. So please go check her out. Michelle, thank you for the great job you always do over here as a moderator on my TikTok. I really appreciate it. Hi, Marie McFarland. She says, hello, ladies.
Hi. So, Jody, I do have the other photo as well, too. Jody is saying I went back a couple of days later and took the exact same photo, same location, roughly the same time. And there was the shadow isn't there. There's not something that's going to, I did pull that photo up and you can see how much I did crop from that, but.
Okay, I'm just checking because my phone's never notifying me if I get stuff lately. No, I start a comment or question. Connie asks, do you think people confuse the two, Dogman and werewolf? Wouldn't they look similar? I have some comments, but go ahead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought they did look similar.
They do, but from the reports of Dogman, they seem to, I haven't heard a lot of reports of people seeing a werewolf, or were they just confusing a dogman? It's hard to say. But the one thing they know is very distinctive with dogmen is it's like their eyes are on fire. They are either like this glowing yellow or this bright, bright, fiery orange. I've seen so many reports of people saying that, like the color of their eyes. So
for dogmen being yellow
or bright orange. Yes,
that's what I've heard as well too.
Yeah, definitely. And then you get into Harry Potter, right? And there's the animagus. Remember Remus Lupin that got bit by a werewolf, and he can't control when he changes, being a werewolf, yet somebody that's an animagus can change whenever they want. Oh, you did a good job there. Good. Oh, that's a lot easier to see. Good job, Kerrilynn. Yeah, that's a lot easier to see. Wow.
It's weird. Like, and it's open. So it's not like there was places or a lot of big trees for it to hide behind. It was
doesn't really have a shadow either.
No.
But weird. You can't see through it either. That is weird. Kat says it almost looks like a hyena. And then Mish is asking, did anyone ever listen to Dark Waters? He would do podcasts with dogmen stories. It was chilling. I don't know if I've listened or not, but that's a good capture, Jody. And thanks, Kerrilynn, for sharing that, because that's crazy. So I had a lot of stories people came across. Like there were some really long longer videos. Oh, sorry, Michelle Wilfong's adding here. I think Dogman and werewolf are related somehow.
So I think I wrote.
The reason why I wonder if they're not, but then I'm still blown away by the story of someone saying you removed, meaning unalived, one of our operatives when someone apparently shot a dogman. And then I looked into, didn't we talk a bit about this? And apparently one was captured, or they've captured some, like did they genetically engineer them so that they are able to use them as quote unquote operatives?
Yes. Government experiments, because I heard like in the land.
Oh, we haven't got there yet.
Like, yeah. But I heard or read that they used tracking devices and special collars on some of them.
Ooh. There's a lot of stories now. Michelle told us about that last night. And when I was reading some of the stories, I thought, oh, yeah, I've heard some of these stories. I'm just going to share Kirby's comment here. Kirby's 100. A few years ago, I saw a creepy woman at night, around 40 years old, pale, thin, vampire-like, and smelling like death. She wore a black cape-like coat, black suit, argyle socks, and black Oxford shoes. Ooh, that's creepy. That's not somebody you want to run into at night for sure. I'll tell you. I wouldn't. Did she talk to you, Kirby's 100? How did they make you feel? I always ask people. Kind of gives you an idea, right, of what you're running into.
Modern day banshee?
Ooh, could be. Hi, Diane on TikTok. Somebody by the name of, I hope I'm saying that right, DYANNI has joined us on TikTok and with Michelle. So thank you. Thanks, Michelle, for popping in there too. Like I say, she always, when she goes to mod over there, we can't see the comments on TikTok. So I got to switch back and forth. And she just always does such a great job. I'm really, really grateful for her. Modern day well, I told the story to you. I don't think and we're not, well, you already warned them. We might get a little sideways a bit. We'll get back to the topic, but somebody locally here was writing stories and they had said, oh, I got a skinwalker story. It's a skinwalker story for sure. And I went, oh, wow, I want to hear this locally. And the way they described it, it was a woman screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. Apparently, there were all kinds of police cars that came. They could hear the screaming. They were searching everywhere. Nobody could find where the screaming was coming from. And when I was sharing it with you, the first thing you said is, that sounds more like a banshee, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, banshee for sure. Mish, I agree. Is there dog woman?
But I have to agree. Yeah. Or a dog biatch. Or how do we know the difference? Because with, say, Bigfoot, it's pretty obvious if it's a woman. And I know male Bigfoot have a different type shaped head almost too. Plus they have female parts that you can see that human females have and many other animals, right?
Right. And I don't think the reports of the upright walking wolves that have been seen even through Ontario were reported female. You would think that you'd be able to tell,
yes,
or male, but they were upright walking.
I ran across that too in my research. Yeah.
Wolf-looking creatures that were tall, walking on two legs. Yeah,
that's the creepy part. Like, and then the trail cams. Oh my gosh, because you got one.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Today.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Nope.
Well, I got so many.
I didn't get it.
Oh, that's okay. There were so many that were there that, and again, I didn't upload everything to share time. We'd be watching videos the whole night. Then we'd be kind of cheating you guys. We'd just be pushing play and not saying anything. And but the Dogman trail cam ones, wow. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
So the place that I saw, or the channel that I saw, it's Instagram as well too, probably on TikTok, but it was the now I'm gonna muck it up. Ancient. Do you remember Ancient? Let me look it up. Now I feel bad that I can't remember it. I'll remember. I'll find it after.
Okay. Ancient, is it Enigma or something?
Yes, Ancient Enigma.
Okay. I kept hearing that in my head, and I just found I heard say it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Dave's got
all kinds of like great Dogman photos and stuff like that.
We got some questions. So Mish is wondering. She says, wonder why only a few humans ever see them. Is there another connection that helps a human see them?
I don't know. And I feel like there's been an increase of people seeing them lately. Like I had not really heard of them before until meeting Michael John, right?
Oh, really? Until Michael John?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
with Michael John from the Paranormal Voice, because
I remember him.
Yeah, fascination with Dogman, and I had not really heard much about them. And then we did one of our first segments when we talked about like the haunted parks, like national parks and reserves. We found all kinds of weird information that way, and it's just since then that I report after report after report.
This is a little bit off track, but Dave William Hardig says, I saw two white orbs together in my room. Are they good or bad, or just wondering from Pennsylvania?
I don't think white orbs are bad.
I don't either. But you got to be careful. There's some criteria with orbs, whether they're orbs, like say if it was on your security camera, say versus the naked eye. If it was with the naked eye.
Those are good questions too.
But usually if it's white, no, I wouldn't be. Plus there's usually a lot more that you'll see besides orbs. If you're having, say, a spirit that's appearing as an orb, you're going to probably notice a few other things going on in your environment. It doesn't have to be bad, but you may feel stuff, you may smell stuff, you may It could be it's a whole show we could do on that alone. But thank you for your question.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Mish says that Egyptian that looks like a dog. Anubis. That's what I was saying earlier. Anubis, the god of death. Yes, I got some videos on that too. They were saying, again, I never really heard it just with the god of death. I'm just telling you from some of the clips that I grabbed. But yes, he has the head of a jackal, actually.
Yeah, it's more elongated nose.
Yeah.
Not that sort of snouty thing.
But Anubis does get, because the one I saw, it's the two guys with the long hair, and they got a girl that does the podcast. I always forget the name of it. And they clip the really good parts they talk about, because they tried to watch their podcast, and no disrespect, but because they really bring up some good facts, but it's the other stuff sometimes that doesn't relate. Anyways, he was calling it, what was he calling it? Anubis. He called it Anubis. And then his co-host goes, I think you mean Anubis.
That's funny. Kat is saying that she has an Anubis tattoo.
Oh, cool.
And Bastet. And she, yes, you just got did you just get two new or one?
I thought she did. I thought I seen pictures of that.
Yeah, two. Egyptian dogs come to mind. CP
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got the wrong button. Sorry. There you go. You guys are commenting and I'm not keeping up. That's what it is. So,
Darlene Brownlee, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The scarab. Yeah.
Oh, the beetle. Yes. There's Darlene. Hi, Darlene. Nice to see you. Yeah. So, I'm just checking the other side. Thanks for sharing. And we've got an Abby over on TikTok joining us. Welcome. You guys feel free to leave comments, questions, any movies related. We're talking about Dogman, the Lycans / werewolf. So if you've got questions, comments, anything to do with that type of topic, please share over here too. We'd love to hear it.
Do I have tattoos? Yes, ma'am.
Who doesn't?
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm.
I have, I don't know how to do it. It's a planchette with flowers and
I have some here.
Crystals.
Mm-hmm. I have one on my lower back of dolphins. I have one here that I drew that nobody ever sees. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's like a thing, and I drew it. Most of my tattoos I've drawn. Most of them. I didn't draw my newest one. This one, I never thought I'd ever have a Mario with angel wings, but that's for my son.
Yeah.
So,
and this is.
Is that the octopus?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Octopus and fishies.
I love, once you get them and you realize they're not that bad, and I don't mind getting them. I like them. I have one on my finger.
I'm going to get some Lily of the Valley from my granddaughter.
Oh, I like that. That'll be so sweet. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going through here. Did we miss anything? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so Connie mentioned the dog breed Zolos. Reminds me of Anubis.
That's what my son would love one. That kind of dog.
I know when Adele's...
Mish.
I'm going to add this and then I'm going to scroll down to see. I was going to say one of Dell's best friends used to have a Basenji, and they can't bark, but that's what always sort of reminded me a little bit of Anubis in a way too. Okay, what are you laughing? Now I got to see.
She's...
Well, it depends where you get them.
Right. Some people do have, it feels that it does hurt. I find once you get into a zone, it's pretty meditative, but after a while, like I think for me, it's the 6 hour mark, or I just like, by 7, I'm ready to tap out. That's about as much.
My worst tattoo I have on my lower abdomen of a unicorn, and it was so painful that my skin was flinching like I wasn't. My skin was. But this one, and it's very light, like with the sun, I'm hoping it's going to hold. I even said to the guy I had doing it, I said, wow, you've got a really light tattoo. hand. And he said, really? He goes, well, I'm using fine needles. Like, you couldn't even feel it. Like, it wasn't bad at all. Mm-hmm.
Kat, thank you for popping in, and have a good recording session. Look forward to hearing what segment you're working on tonight.
I have to give her a shout out because is it next week, Kat? It's next week. So I filmed another episode for Kat's show, The Paranormal Heart, and it is on Tuesday next week. Your show's at 6. Is it 6 p.m. Eastern? Is it? Please let us know, Kat, if you're still there. But we did an episode. I had mentioned that I am an Akashic Records practitioner, and people have been asking to hear more about the Akashic Records. So we had fun. We talked about it for an hour. So I think she's showing it this Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, Mish.
Well, I could see why. That's not a good place to start. Neither is the rib cage, apparently. That's a really painful one too. So
Mish is just sharing it was near her hip and she passed.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed out. My kiddo she goes into shock, so she needs to make sure she's got like orange juice and stuff with her.
Oh, really?
She's covered. I have 2 of my kids that have very little real estate left. They're covered.
My eldest is like that. Yeah, he's got tons and used to have piercings. And so Connie says, my ankle tattoo is the worst pain, but my thigh koi fish is big and took 6 hours. That was hard. Yeah. Usually if there's more tissue underneath, it's a little bit easier. Not always, but a little bit. Mm-hmm. Wonder if anybody has a Dogman or werewolf tattoo out there that's listening. I would love to see
Werewolf in London tattoo. And do you know, I was thinking when we were talking about werewolves and all that kind of stuff, Teen Wolf was probably the first movie or introduction to werewolves, right? Like other stuff.
Werewolf London.
Yeah, but I was older with that song. Even I was older, so I was 14 when Teen Wolf, like with Michael J. Fox, came out. But then I start off. You know how some people always have their favorite Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. So the movie that I tend to kick off the Halloween season with is Ginger Snaps.
I've never seen it.
Mm.
Is it scary? You know, I don't like scary movies.
Yeah. So Ginger Snaps is female werewolves and sort of like a coming of age.
I would watch that. I just don't like I hate jump scares. Like even a movie I've seen that's got so much suspense, I just can't sit there. Like I have to walk around and I'm talking to myself in my head going, why are you being such an idiot? You know what happens in the movie. It's not going to be any different. I just can't stand that kind of energy. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. Ginger Snaps, I don't think has jump scares, right, Contessa? I love Ginger Snaps, and it's how I kick off the Halloween season for sure.
Okay, so now I got to watch it. Watch it. We got to have a movie-a-thon.
Sure.
We do that.
The first one in particular I watched, but
Ginger Snaps. Well, there is a movie. I'm not
Ginger Snaps.
Okay. No jump scares. Contestant says, okay. Because there was a movie I sent you to the end of the movie. I'm not going to say the title on air, but it was kind of a spoof movie. And at the end, they had kind of this fancy, I will say, silhouette of a werewolf howling at the moon. He was wearing the most fabulous boots, but it was a silhouette and he's howling, and it's supposed to be a sign for the next one to come. It had to do with female vampires, but it was so cool the way he werewolfed. I shouldn't say that, he howled, not werewolfed. Yes. So it is like, and then again, right? And I remember, like, I still watch Twilight. I'm that kind of nerd. Like, I will still go back and watch it just for something fun to watch. And they did, I think, a pretty good job with the werewolf. Don't you? Like when they morph them, and I think it's a great job.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And for how big they were, like that's what I would imagine direwolves to be. Like in the movie, they were huge. In that movie, they were huge.
So my thing with werewolves is, have you noticed we really don't hear about werewolves except for movies nowadays, especially now that the Dogman, whatever you want to call it, phenomena, more and more people seeing it, experiencing it, that we're not really hearing about werewolves so much. Or is that just my experience? What do you guys think? Like, have you heard much about werewolves since Dogman has kind of come front and center?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we got to add this. Connie says, has anyone seen Let Me In? Great movie, too. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Haven't seen
Mm-mm.
that one yet. But
Actually,
we did our segment on vampires last week.
right?
And then my youngest kiddo, he's 20.
Mhm.
As soon as we were done, he's like, Mom, are we watching a movie now? Sure, buddy. So I said he got it set up, ready to go. And I hop onto the couch to watch the movie with him after our segment last week. And he said, it's Sinners. And so I didn't know what it was about. I had no clue, but it's brilliant. It's a
Oh, I
brilliant
know what
movie.
you're going to
It's
say.
about vampires.
You said that, I remember.
I'm like, Lolly, look what my kid has us watching right after our segment on vampires. He like had Sinners is very good. It's very good.
Is it
And it
the
kind of reminded me because we had talked about, I think I talked about it last week, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I
And
wrote
it
that.
had that vintage old, like it took place a long time ago. And Sinners was very, very, very good.
See, I don't. Dell made me finally watch when he found out I'd never watched Friday the 13th, and then
Mm.
I literally I remember when, God, what was the name of it? That it looked like nobody knew if it was real or not. It was this couple that were together, and it was a reality type thing, and they were living in a haunted house. And oh God, why can I not remember the name of it? I remember we saw it. It hadn't even been out in the theaters. And I was sitting there with my hands over my eyes. Like, she got pulled out of the bed. And then she got possessed by whatever was in the house and the whole bit. And then it came out that it was fake. Because after we watched it, and there was many different endings to it, her name was Katie, and I forget what the boyfriend's name was, her fiance, and he lived in this big, beautiful house, and every cliche haunted house thing you've ever heard of happened. And I remember Dell and I both looking at each other going, this has to be fake. And I remember us looking, you couldn't find any information. I can't remember what the name of that was. It's going to come up. It'll come back to me. Anyways, any kind of movie like that. Like, I'm sitting there and I might peek. I just don't like them. I don't know why. And then when I watched Halloween, finally I went, that's all there is to. I've never seen The Exorcist. Never ever.
Oh,
Mm-mm. Nope.
I love all of that. I love all of it. Do you want to do the station ID so that we remember, and then we can
Yes, give me a sec. I got to put my ghosty glasses on. Someone's message never fails when you go live. Where did I put my darn glasses? That's what happens when we're dark. It's dark. I've probably thrown them in my talking here, so good thing you got another pair. Alrighty, where's my station ID here? I gotta find.
Tessa, I'm the same, born watching horror and thrillers. Oh, your dad
Are
got
you?
you into Friday Fright Night movies when I was a kid. It's been going on ever since. Yeah,
I
I love it.
and you know what? Like, you've had spooky, weird things around you since you were a little kid. So have I. And I don't know where the heck my paper is. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head. If you're just tuning in, you are listening live to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is Beneath the Hollow Moon. I'm one of your co-hosts, Lorilei Potvin, and my amazing wolfy friend and co-host too, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, is here with me. You are listening to us on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and in Mississippi, and 107.7 FM in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And hopefully I remembered everything. But we're talking about werewolves, Lycans, and Dogman. So please come join us in the chat. Oh, Julie says she doesn't like creepy horror movies either. See, so I'm not alone. I had so many weird, creepy, weird things. And I was I know it's hard to believe, but I was so shy. Like, if people would come over when I was little, I would hide in the closet. I think I constantly lived in a state of fear and terror. And then I did have a lot of weird, strange things too. Not similar to what you went through, but just weird, unexplainable, like the paranormal. I've shared it before. The one year we moved to a brand new house built from the ground up, and from the time we moved in till the snow fell, every night, I didn't know anything about the paranormal. I was 7 turning 8, woke up every night being choked, unable to breathe at 3 a.m. Like,
It's terrifying.
I know. So I think that's why I always thought, I think why I don't like horror movies. I'm not saying my life was horror. It just had enough scary stuff around. So,
craziness.
Yes. So what do you want to do? You want to do some did you know facts? You want to do some clips? What do you want to do, girl?
Well, okay. We can do you want to do a few did you know facts? I think I've got just a I think I know one, but
what's that?
I'm mumbling.
Oh, you're
sorry.
Mumbling? That's okay. I'm pulling up mine now as I'm talking to you.
Did you know facts?
Oh, everybody's talking about creepy movies. Okay, I'm looking about it because I got I did a bunch of research. We don't get to most of our research. So the good thing is, you guys, and I say this to Kerrilynn every time, like, we won't do that to you because there's too much strange and weird and wonderful stuff to talk about. But we could literally just repeat next year every week the same, and we'd have more to share with you still.
There's just so much, like even on television shows now, as like Skinwalker Ranch, Blind Frog Ranch, they both have had these sightings of some kind of dogman, dire wolf. The dire wolf was I thought they did testing on what they had found on Skinwalker Ranch, and they found it to be a dire wolf. And
I don't think they're extinct. I don't think they're extinct.
No, but underground, Hollow Earth coming up.
I have some facts too on Dogman too. I don't have a ton, but I have a few. So you want to start, or you want me to start?
I just have one, and it was for land between the lakes.
Okay. Do you want to save it maybe, and we'll go into that then? Do you want to save it and I'll share a few?
Yeah.
Okay. So for Dogman, did you know the Dogman has a specific sighting cycle? Many enthusiasts claim Dogman sightings follow a decadal, so I guess a 10-year cycle, which with peaks in the years ending in 1987, 1887, 2007. This pattern stems from the 1987 radio prank by Steve Cook in Michigan, which sparked a wave of reports. Some cryptozoologists like Linda Godfrey, I should say, suggests the cycle might be tied to cultural suggestion or even an unknown environmental trigger. Well, I guess we'll know by 2027, then we'll have to watch. Oh, sorry, hang on, I almost lost it here. It went ahead on me. Don't do that, guys. Where was I? Okay, it says, so Linda Godfrey suggests the cycle might be tied to a cultural suggestion or an unknown environmental trigger, though no evidence confirms it. Recent X posts or /Twitter from 2025 mention a spike in alleged sightings in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, with users claiming encounters near abandoned logging sites. So there's one thing.
That's kind of fascinating, though.
I thought it was too.
Sounds like a Stephen King movie, like It. In cycles.
Oh, and then it's got, is Heidi logging off? Because I see Kurt saying hi, bye. So Heidi, if you have to go, thanks for joining us. There's a few other things with this. It says a modern media boost. The Dogman legend has surged through podcasts like Dogman Encounters Radio, hosted by Vic Cundiff, which has over 500 episodes by 2025 featuring firsthand accounts. A 2024 episode detailed the Michigan hunter's claim of a dogman telepathically warning him to leave its territory, a rare supernatural angle not often reported in earlier accounts. So was it an operative? Like, I could find very little on an operative in the way of a dogman. But that fascinated me because I could see it happening. Absolutely.
But I mean, that comes back to the like land of the lakes, where that elite force goes in to just annihilate, right? Just
we're going to get there.
Neutralize everybody.
Mm-hmm. So it says an unusual claim. Some Dogman reports describe the creature carrying objects. I've not heard this before, but it says there are reports and they're carrying objects like sticks or bones in a human-like manner. A 2023 sighting from Wisconsin's Kettle Moraine State Forest, shared on Reddit's Cryptozoology, claimed a Dogman was seen holding what looked like a crude spear, sparking theories about intelligence or tool use, though unverified.
So there was a report like that for Land Between Lakes, where it was alleged that the Dogman had a deer up over its shoulder, walking upright, carrying the deer over its shoulder.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're getting into Lycans now. So it says Lycans. Did you know Lycans have subcultural following beyond the underworld films? Lycans have, because that's where I love those. The first one was it's the best. See, now I do watch like if there's vampires and werewolves and things. So and Della added some of the stuff we're talking about. Could it be DARPA, right? Like could it be DARPA created with the operatives? We'll get into that. You never know. We may get there tonight. So it says Lycans, like I said, a subcultural following. Sorry, I got lost here. So beyond the underworld films, Lycans have inspired a modern subculture of Terrians, so Therians, and other kin who identify spiritually or psychologically as wolf-like beings. In 2024, excuse me, a Tyrian community on Twitter or X grew significantly with its users sharing Lycan shifting. That's interesting. Experiences, meditative practices to feel closer to a wolf-like state. These aren't claims of a physical transformation, but rather a spiritual connection blending ancient shapeshifter myths with modern identity exploration. I thought that was interesting. Oh, we do have the name, I think, of the medical condition. A rare medical connection, clinical lycanthropy. I think that's what the extra, it's called excessive hirsutism. I know that, but it says clinical lycanthropy, where people believe, oh, no, this is different than all the hair, sorry, where people believe they transform into wolves has been documented in modern psychiatric studies. A 2022 case study in Frontiers in Psychiatry described a patient in the U.S. who insisted they were a lycan during psychotic episodes. I've actually seen that as a nurse. Triggered by stress and exposure, not to werewolf media. They're saying this is coming on with werewolf media. This rare condition adds a scientific lens to lycan beliefs. So I want to back that up again. I was thinking they were talking about the excess of hair growth. They're not. This is a rare medical condition called clinical lycanthropy. So basically having psychotic episodes where they become wolf-like. I've seen people do that before.
Interesting.
I can tell you a story, actually. My oldest son and I were in Toronto. He was younger. He would have been probably about 10 or 11. And we used to have to go to Sick Kids for him. And we were on the subway one night, and the car was packed. And this guy started acting like a wolf, like sniffing and baring his teeth and like getting really, really crazy. And then he started throwing his head back and howling and howling. And of course I was terrified. I got my young kid with me here, and I don't really know where I'm going. I'm following maps and things. And I seen him lock eyes with me. So I'm saying to my son, sweetie, don't look, don't look, don't look. So what I did was, and he was following us. So when we got off at our stop, there was a lot of people and he was coming towards us. I grabbed my kid, jumped back on the subway, and the door shut. And that guy, again, I don't know if he was howling or screaming. His head went way back, but he was doing this in the subway car. It was terrifying.
Mm-hmm. That's craziness.
There's Victoria, Astral Light Paranormal. Mm-hmm. But I have
shout out earlier, Victoria.
By accident, I said Kat was you. So I don't know. Like I have seen a few people. Now I never worked, I only worked on the psychiatric floor. It was a locked floor for people who, instead of going to jail, would be locked into the hospital. So basically, horrible crimes due to reasons of insanity. And I have seen a few people from time to time. Now, it was never diagnosed as clinical lycanthropy or lycanthropy, I guess you'd say it. But I have seen people. Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a lot of people that follow werewolf magic.
Oh, now tell more about that, because I don't know much about that.
Denny Sargent was a guest on Spirit Switchboard, and he writes all kinds of books about it, and embracing that feral side, right? And how you can manifest and create by tapping into that more wild side that we tend to repress, and that connection to nature and the moon cycles. And yeah, so if anybody's interested, they can watch that segment.
I know more about it now,
right? And then get what he just had a new book released actually a couple of weeks ago. So
interesting. I had visions of people going naked and dancing under the moon, and I know that doesn't have to do with werewolf magic, but getting in touch with your wild side, I guess.
Well, or probably does too, as well, right? It's that sense of freedom, connecting with nature, and all of that stuff.
I have just a few more. Do you want me to read one or two more, and then we'll get into your facts here. So, modern pop culture twist. In 2025, a new indie game, Lycans Lament, gained traction among cryptid fans. It portrays Lycans as genetically engineered beings escaping a secret lab, reflecting a sci-fi take on their origins. X/Twitter posts praise as it blends of Dogman-like aesthetics with Lycan lore, showing how the concept evolves in gaming. I got one on werewolves, and then because it's pretty interesting. The land between, is it the land between the lakes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so werewolves. Did you know werewolf trials persist in modern contexts? While medieval Europe was notorious for werewolf trials, and they put in brackets, for example, Peter Strump in 1589, similar accusations linger in remote areas. In 2023, a village in Nigeria reportedly ostracized a man accused of being a werewolf after livestock killings, according to a local news report shared on X or Twitter. I can tell you, I've seen a video. I can't verify whether it's real or not. And it comes from a gentleman in Africa. It was before the AI and stuff. He literally, and I wish I would have thought of it till just now. I wish I would have thought of it before. He literally morphs, like the teeth come out, the eye shift on camera. And I didn't see a cut. Like I said, it was before AI. I know there's Photoshop. And I think he even went live and did it. Now, again, there's illusionists and things. So was it a magic trick? So it's very interesting to hear that this could be still going on. The trials.
Gotcha.
So, this shows how ancient superstitions adapt to modern settings, often tied to unexplained events. I don't know. I never said the guy was real. The only thing I will say was it was pretty convincing. Now, the reason why I always believe the truth will come out. But the thing is, right, there is a series. I still see clips of it and people that review scary clips that get sent in. I've seen all kinds of things about it. It was a series of clips. It showed up a lot on Nuke's Top 5. He never tells you what to think. But this guy had this series. He said he lived in a haunted house. It was in South America. And there's a famous clip of his niece, looks like she's in a trance, and she's sitting on the floor. She looks about 8 years old, and looks like a television cabinet behind her. And there's these little girls' hands coming up, playing with her hair. And the little niece's name was Amy. And he's going, Amy, Amy. And he runs up to her. There's no cut in the film. And you look, there's nothing in the cabinet. There's another one where there's a little girl standing on Amy's bed with legs. You can see underneath a blanket. And the guy is terrified filming it, pulls the blanket, there's nothing there. Those look so real until the guy came out and said he was a very niche special effects creator. and he had created this whole story.
Oh, that's brilliant marketing.
And the guy, like, and again, I'm still seeing clips. I'm still seeing clips of people, they don't know the story behind it. So again, werewolf dude, and he didn't go viral or anything. I wasn't looking for it. I had seen this a few years back. I don't know if it's real or not, but the truth always comes out. How do we know that there's not a vampire, or not vampire? Why did I say vampire? Werewolf type gene, right? I don't know. Never know. There might be. Never know. Or dogmen. Can dogmen mate with humans? I don't know. Maybe they could. Maybe they can't.
They're too cannibalistic. Are they not too like that feral? They would kill before they would do something like that.
What if you've got an operative that's been genetically engineered and it's wearing that special collar? And I don't know. I've heard stories of people being taken by Bigfoot and living with Bigfoot for a couple of years. I don't know.
It's true too.
It's true too. Hi, Mort. We got all kinds of comments. Do you want to share your fact?
Oh, I don't know what I got. So the land between lakes. So it's at the border. Land between lakes is between by the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. It's 170,000 acre national recreation area. And so my did you know fact was that originally the land between lakes was originally home to displaced families, and entire towns were submerged to create that recreation area.
Yeah. So it's on the outskirts of Kentucky, isn't it? The land between the lakes. And I was reading that JFK Jr., or not Jr., Senior, kind of labeled that area that name, and it kind of stuck. Or am I wrong? Like I only seen it.
I don't know about that part. So I didn't find that, but that doesn't mean anything. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, Kentucky and Tennessee. The other little things that I found, if people wanted to look into it, or like Dogman sightings, Michigan in 1887 in Wexford County, which is in Michigan, the Wisconsin Beast. The Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin.
I seen it, yeah.
So Eric Mantel has a pretty good video on YouTube about it as well too. And then in the Appalachian and the Deep South, right?
Oh gosh, well we're going to be doing some planning for. Well, actually, maybe we could ask people while we're here. We plan our shows usually six week blocks. Is there something specific maybe that you guys have been wanting us to talk about? We've got a ton of ideas, but if there's something specific that a lot of people mention, right?
We never changed the bottom of our.
Oh, well, let's do that now. You're right. We were advertising for Preston and Dolly. And we love Preston and Dolly.
We love Preston. Preston's lovely.
And Dolly too.
Let's some theories about Dogman. Is it an undiscovered species? Is it a cryptid canine species? Is it a blend of something? Supernatural, skinwalker, shapeshifter, demonic manifestation, interdimensional, government experiment. And if Dell is still with us.
Oh, he is. He's already commenting. He goes, Laura, what do you think? When I was telling the story about Toronto, I wasn't with Dell then. And he's going, what have I always told you? Be basically eyes on a swivel in the comments. And I was thinking that as I'm telling this story, I just didn't say it out loud. I have to type our banner because somebody so graciously removed it on. Oh, no, they did not. I just found it. It just popped up.
Military bases near some of those hot spots where the Dogman is also supposed to be sighted. So where there's some major reports that there is a military base near those hot spots. So
what were you going to ask Deli there? What did you want to ask him? He's in the
about the military bases, because he seems to know like where high strangeness happens around military bases as well.
The reason why I have explained to people, there's many reasons why we're together, but I can tell you that we have these type of discussions all day long. He researches different stuff than I do, but he definitely knows. Like, he was already mentioning government stuff. He probably knows all kinds of stuff about the bases. Yes. So land between the lakes. Let me check the comments here. We were so busy reading our facts. There was a few. Now, somebody, I think Cindy was wondering, and I think this would be a quick answer, but she says, I was just, before we jump a little bit further into land between the lakes, or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Cindy wants to know, I was just thinking of Little Red Riding Hood, wondering, was that actually a wolf or a werewolf?
I see. Now that I'm an adult, I would say werewolf. As a kid, I would have said wolf.
But it can also, hang on just a sec here. Anyways, okay, sorry, I had an interruption. So exactly with the werewolf, right? But werewolves supposedly cannot change. They can't elect to change. So was the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood an animagus? Because remember, it was changing from Granny to the wolf. It could do it willfully, whereas a werewolf couldn't.
This is true.
Thank you. Yes, Mort. I was saying, you said hyper thoughts about someone who has hypertrichosis, hair all over the body, or hyperhirsutism is another medical term. Yeah, we talked about that actually at the beginning, but thank you for that. So I don't know. And I thought it was a good question that Cindy asked, right? So yes, Grim TV. Yes, I've heard about that. Connie, yes. Did you ever watch that, Kerrilynn? TV show is all about the fairy tales and stories.
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah. So, oh geez, Mish. Did you see what she shared? I think it happens to the best of us ladies as we get older, Mish.
This was what
Unfortunately.
Yes, absolutely. So do you want me to play some videos, or do you want to talk a little bit more of land between the lakes?
So I can share a couple of different things while you get one set up. So land between the lakes, cryptid sightings, Dogman, 7-foot bipedal, aggressive behavior, large footprints. People are warned to not camp or go near the old cemeteries, and there was something else that they were warned to not go by. Oh, Dead Man's Lake.
Okay, what about that?
A lot of stuff, like sightings and stuff that happen, or high strange.
Does this, like, sometimes it'll hop up on the screen and sometimes it stays in the green room. So I just pulled it down because this is actually one that went quite viral. This one I've got ready, it's just a photo, and it's of a dog man supposedly caught on a trail cam at land between the lakes.
Oh, cool.
Did you want me to pull it up or no?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. I know this one went quite viral. Have you seen? Is that the one you were thinking of, Kerrilynn? Yeah, this is one of them. And I think I might have shared this with you because I remember we had a conversation, not recently. This was a while ago. And we were saying from the back, it looked pretty realistic, but from the front, it looks a little odd.
Well, the head looks similar to the one that I saw as well. It was different, but it was nighttime, like trail cam picture, but similar for sure.
So it's just a picture. I've got quite a few. So there's a few while you're still sharing. I will put up there. Mish is saying usually in the car about to head out. You always make us laugh, Mish. I won't read the rest. So if you're in the chat, you'll see it. Yeah, so there was definitely, there's been quite a few caught on trail cams. Actually, I've been really, this was weird. This guy, it's a video, so let me pause it. I don't believe this thing that's on the beginning of this video is actually real, but it certainly is goofy looking, and I hope to God if it is real, I never run into this thing in the middle of the woods. I can tell you that. But then it gets into a Dogman. So hang on. If you want me to play it, you don't have to. But see, it pulls it up right away. Like, I don't know why it did that. Sorry. That thing starts the video. It's like trail cam things. Let's hope to God that thing's not real. I don't want to run into that in the middle of the woods. Do you want me to play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wild men. Werewolf or dogmen.
This went, I remember this clip. It went wild before, or it went viral. That's not a Dogman. I'm sorry, it's not. Or is it? What do you think?
Bigfoot.
We had a bunch on there. I'm sorry.
What do you think about these creepy trail cam photos? Real or fake? Share with us in the comments. Follow, like, and don't forget to check.
It's just advertising itself. That's not all. This one just had a bunch of different stuff. That's why I shared it, because trail cams pick up a heck of a lot of stuff. Now that first, whatever that guy was, it was the second one afterwards. That clip, like I've never seen it in video. It was a big picture, like in clear view. That's from quite a few years ago. I still can't say I thought that was a Dogman. Did you like any of those?
I don't know. The one is I like the picture prior. That video not so much.
I've got more.
With land between lakes. So I know Michelle has talked about it. Michelle DeRoche has talked about it when we did a bit of research. So there's like a cryptid war, and there was a cryptid war that was happening where the Dogmen
let's hear more about that. That sounds
were annihilating all of these people, and then the cryptids were fighting amongst each other, and then the government had to go in and wipe out, take out the Dogman. So there's a report of the government having a live Dogman in a cage being taken out of land between lakes.
So is that where like I said, as soon as I heard this about an operative, and it was only one video clip because I had a ton of them, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I want to know more. And this afternoon, I spent time looking, and I could not find anything more on it. And the reason why I dug into it, because of the clip I had seen, one of them, and I even have longer ones, 5 different tales of Dogman, you name it. I spent a lot of time. But when you mentioned what you just did about the war that we had talked about off camera, and that one seemed to be removed in a cage and stuff, that made me think, like, are they connected? What's going on with this? Like, why are there operatives?
I don't know what's Dogmen and werewolves, but that they were fighting amongst each other, like the werewolves fighting with the
Okay, so if they're
taking care of all of it, like putting them in.
Okay, but if they're werewolves, then they'd really only be warring on full moons.
I don't know.
Wow. I got so many. I believe it, but I got so many questions. I don't know what's going on with my Facebook here. It does not want to load past. Give me a sec, guys. I know there's another way to do it, the proper way, but I pull up my videos this way because otherwise my computer uses way too much bandwidth, and then I start stuttering in and out. So it works the best this way. So
Contessa Martin was sharing that she just watched the movie Exist 2014. I think it's one of the best Bigfoot movies I've seen. I haven't, but I'm going to take notes so that I can watch it.
Wow. Okay, so these are more, I've got trail cam ones. There's one with actually an interesting clip from Joe Rogan, I think. I've got another one that was another Land Between the Lakes Dogman caught on camera. It might be the same one, I'm not sure. But like I said, I think it's it's a different clip. Then there's one of Joe Rogan actually talking about stuff. Hang on. Do you want me to play that one?
Sure.
I like when he talks about the weird. He doesn't talk about it that often. He used to, but he doesn't anymore.
There are like reports of missing people, weird, strange deaths, animals and birds, no noise, like natural noise in sections of Land Between Lakes. Oh, I just was gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No. I was just gonna talk while you set it up. You can hit play.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say hi to Michelle Plummer. Hi, Michelle Plummer.
Hi, Michelle.
Okay. This one's a Joe Rogan one. It's not that long. Just make sure I got the audio on. I think I can make it bigger. Hang on. Let's see if I can. Enter full screen. We can. Good. Okay, hang on. It's not that long.
So you mean to tell me werewolves are the result of some secret society experiment?
Exactly. Werewolves aren't just myths. They're the byproduct of something far more sinister. There's a secret group called the Lunar Order. For years, they've been experimenting in the shadows, combining human DNA with that of wolves. And these experiments, they went horribly wrong. They were trying to create hybrids, humans that could shift into wolves. But they didn't stop there. Here's where it gets even more twisted. Those shady pharmaceutical companies you've never heard of, they're in on it. They're running fake clinical trials, claiming to test new treatments. But what they're really doing is injecting people with this hybrid DNA.
Oh, wow.
Now think about all those hikers disappearing without a trace in remote places like Canada. This isn't random. The Lunar Order's lost control, and these creatures are out there. But it gets crazier. Some of these hybrids, these werewolves, can control their transformations. They're not just lurking in the forests. They're living among us. They're hiding in plain sight. We're talking about people in powerful positions. CEOs, politicians, possibly making decisions that affect millions of lives. And no one even suspects a thing. And the scariest part? There's no way to tell who they are. The Lunar Order's got this all locked down. They've been manipulating the narrative for so long that anyone who gets close to the truth is silenced, labeled a conspiracy theorist or worse. But once you start connecting the dots, you can't unsee it. It's all there.
Okay, I think, I'm not going to say anything at first. I'll wait and see. It sounds crazy. I know that, but what are your thoughts?
Well, it's not really Joe Rogan talking.
It was supposed to be, yes, and I apologize. I watched it, but my point is, I still thought it was interesting. I believe he reviewed this clip on his show, but the thing is it got crazy towards the end. But the part I liked was, what if, and I don't agree with the last part about that. That's just too crazy what this person was talking about. But what if werewolves have actually evolved that they can change at will? And I've seen more stories, like movies and things like that. Like, what if that could happen?
Well, everything evolves.
Yes. So is it that, or have werewolves, like, there's so many questions I have. It's kind of like on Michelle's show last night, that everything connects and it goes in a circle. And it's kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, with Dogman and werewolf, or if you want to call it Lycan. And I've seen sometimes there's a differentiation between Lycan and werewolf. I usually see them together. But what came first? Did it go way back to 100 years before when Christ was around with the dog people? Did they disappear? Did they go underground? Did they split off and morph into different sects? So you have Dogman and then you've got werewolves. Is there some, like I said, I'm going to go back to the operative. I'd never heard that word before again. Like I said, the ending part of the video was crazy. I will say that. Absolutely. And I don't believe in that kind of crap. But my point is, we're talking about that some dogmen, it seemed, were being moved out in cages with Land Between the Lakes. Were they genetically changed in some way? I don't know. It kind of all goes around in a circle, don't you think?
Well, there's definitely those reports of tracking collars and motion sensors, and that was all in the 90s. like
Mhm.
in the 1990s. So,
And
I
that
think,
was over 30 years ago now, right? So what has changed? And then you
mhm.
even do see, I've seen in some movies that yes, they can, werewolves are able to, or even, gosh, we could go to Twilight, right? Well, they call themselves wolves, but
Well,
they kind of are almost like werewolves in a way, right? They could change when they wanted.
there's also sightings of unmarked black helicopters,
Oh,
which adds to the
oh.
conspiracy thinking.
There, there is a guy, I brought him up on Michelle's show last night, How to Hunt, Canadian, Steve. I know I mentioned him, that people write in mainly about Bigfoot, some dogmen, but he refers to all these cryptids as Sabe, which I think is a First Nations word, maybe. He's out in British Columbia. And he's starting to get into all these different ideas, and you hear stories from people. But the one thing, and I know my partner Dell has asked people he knows in law enforcement, this Steve has received a few letters and claims that no matter where you are, if you accidentally unalive a cryptid in the way of a Bigfoot in particular, that there are other agencies no further away than 2 hours that come and will take over from local law enforcement. We've never had it confirmed. It was just because I know Dell's asked lots of people that he knows, and we've never had it confirmed. But when you hear people write in, especially not just his channel, I've heard other things that people say that they call the police if they've had an encounter, and then the police come, and then I've heard so many stories of black helicopters, black SUVs with blacked out windows. Again, it's all stories until we see it ourselves or something's caught on camera. That's all it is, too, right?
There's got to be a bit of truth to it, though, or we wouldn't be talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A little bit of truth somewhere.
I got to get a better video for you guys, but go ahead. Go ahead.
With the Land Between Lakes, it's again like the segment that we had about. I can't remember that national park in Canada that had all of it. So Land Between Lakes is the same. Like it's got ghost stories and missing people and cryptids and
the bear dog, is that the one that you brought up that one night? That blew my mind. That was like a Bermuda Triangle, and it's up in one of the northern territories, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
blew my mind.
and Land Between Lakes is the same.
So why do these areas have this kind of activity?
Well, is it who was living on the land prior? Is it ley lines underneath? Are there portals? Are they man-made portals? Are they interdimensional? Lots of stuff to consider.
And then, like you say, people have asked tonight, please forgive me, I can't remember who asked, but it was a good, it might have been Mish, but they asked, why are some people having these experiences and others aren't? And it's true, like, especially when it comes to Bigfoot and now we've got these Dogman stories, and they're getting pretty scary. Like most people that I've heard their stories or read them is that they were absolutely terrified out of their wits. They may have been changed. They've had damage to their vehicles, but then nothing, thankfully they got home safely. Then there's other people who have said that they were being chased. Dogman could have grabbed them by their hair. They were that close behind them, but they never actually hurt them. Like they were able to get away.
And there seems to be a connect. I don't know why some people see and some people don't, but
yeah, but it goes hand in hand with why do some areas seem to be known for high strangeness, we'll say, right?
Well, and there seems to be more than just that. There seems to be other high strangeness happening at the same time, like when you hear people talk about Bigfoot and orbs or a pop sound or other things happening at the same time. The same thing seems to be happening around Dogman as well too. I really like what Eric, like the Beast of Bray Road that Eric Mantel did.
Can you share a little bit more about that? We got a few people just before you do. We got Mandy. Hi, Mandy. They say, I'm just about to head to bed, but wanted to pop in to say hello. I hope you beautiful souls are having a wonderful evening. Much love and light. Thank you for popping in. We got Kasoon here. So Kasoon, thank you for being here. He's all over way over in Sri Lanka. So I know he gets up like at very early, like 3 or 4 in the morning to join us. So thank you. And I said hi, I think, to Michelle Plummer. She says, I work the same way, just no fur or sharp teeth. And then, in my opinion, is here with a heart. So, Cindy, this is a good theory. I was hoping people would throw some of these ideas in here. Cindy's adding, and less human access or less inhabited areas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Kasoon says, why aren't any of these things in Asia?
I don't know.
I don't know. But do you maybe have reports of it, but you call it something different? Because I know you were just able to tune in, but I know some of the research that I was doing, it goes really far back in history in many different places in the world, Kasoon, including parts of Asia and things like that, with wolf-like beings like what we're talking about. Yeah, Mish, I noticed that too. It said, Kerrilynn, you went blurry. I noticed that
I don't
too.
know if it's because I moved back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I went blurry, but I did.
Okay, so Dell did make a point, and he's right, and he's adding to the conversation. He said, "Laura, what does energy feel like when you go to camp? It's not isolated, but a heightened awareness of energy." And I've said this to you off air. It is literally, there's a public beach. Dell's family's camp or cottage, depending where you live, is right on the lake, but there's not as many people. There's maybe, I'm going to probably get it wrong, about 8 camps on that side. We don't have internet yet. The other side of the lake does, and many more people. But as you go past the public beach, it feels like you are going into a completely different dimension. I swear to you, I've never felt anything like it in my life. And you feel it. There's the beach. You come down the road. There's the beach here. There's the boat launch. As you start to go down the road and it gets narrow, it's like you go into a different dimension.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you're saying about Land Between the Lakes. I know there's, oh my gosh, there's a place outside of, like in Burlington, that's like that as well too. There's a place that when you're walking, you hit it, and then once you're on the other side, it's just weird energy and no animals and stuff like that. Was there just the whistle again?
I thought I heard it. I did hear it. I did hear it because we were talking about it before the show, and Kerrilynn had said maybe we'll get a growl to go along with the walls. I just heard that whistle. Let us know if you guys heard it in the camp or in the camp. I'm reading Cindy's comment. If you guys just heard that, because I heard it too, the whistle.
That's funny. So, yeah, I'm about to transform. I don't know, but.
So Cindy Waghorn says, I felt that too in Temagami, the vivid dreams, camping. I don't know. I know my partner Del had always said, like he had said to me, like, that's my Shangri-La. I love going there. It was me that noticed. And it's a certain point that you're driving down the road and it's a wonderful feeling. Like it is like being in pure peace and calmness. I can't describe the feeling. Like you have to almost experience it for yourself. It's incredible. Now, when you said there's no animals in some of these places, I can say there is animals out there, like hummingbirds, little bunnies, and I don't want to see what else big is in the woods. I never want to see that. But So we'll have to mark that about what time that was. How many times did you hear the whistle, Kerrilynn?
I don't know, but it wasn't as loud, but it was right there.
Yeah, I heard it. I definitely heard it. So that was weird. We'll have to see if Kevin's able to pop in, see Sun Dragon I asked him, he was going to do the rewatch last week. And I said, since you're going to rewatch, because he popped in at the end, I said, can you keep your ears and eyes open for, because we had an EVP. And he marked it for us. So I'm so grateful that he did. And remember, it was right beside you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was loud. It was loud. This one too. But it was here. It was not.
I heard it. I don't know why I ignored it, but as soon as I saw you when on the camera, and then you said, "Is there a whistle?" I went, "Holy crap! Yes, there was." I heard that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
The EVP spooky show. Oh, Michelle Wilfong heard it. She said she heard it. We got lots of people hanging out on TikTok tonight with us. Thank you, everybody that has joined us. We got Canadian Paranormal just jumping in on TikTok too. Thank you for joining us. So, Mish said maybe Dogman thinks you're both sexy. So we got a whistle. Well, thank you, Mish.
Dogman's feeling randy.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be driving, Mish? So you guys, have we decided what we're talking about next week, or we haven't quite come up with where we're going with it, right?
Why don't we toss 2 ideas up and see where we go?
Go for it. Toss them up.
Toss 2 ideas up. I don't remember because it's all jumbled up in my head. So the one and it's not a competition. So the idea that I was thinking was, so haunted roads,
Mm-hmm.
Roads and tunnels would probably be good.
I like that.
Roads and tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
and cursed movies.
Oh,
like
you did bring up the cursed movies.
Yeah, like The Crow, The Exorcist, Poltergeist, Cat Caw from Dogman. Yeah, maybe.
So what one sounds better to you guys? Or like I said, if you're just joining us, you can add on the comments, and because this is everywhere on social media too. Contessa says, yes, cursed movies. And I'll be honest, I said to Kerrilynn, I haven't seen some of them, but you don't need to see them. I do know quite a bit of information about cursed movies.
Yeah,
so,
it's more about the after, right?
Yeah.
What happened during. So that's
Absolutely.
all where the conspiracy stuff happens. We don't have to watch. I honestly have never watched The Crow, but I know a lot about the movie The Crow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it. And you guys, guess what? We're going to be having part 2. I'm not trying to promote my show, but I kind of am. Monday night on the Angel Rock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were on Michelle's show last night, Michelle DeRoche, and she will be coming up right after this in a few minutes with The Outer Realm. Kerrilynn Shellhorn and Michelle DeRoche are joining me for part 2 on the Angel Rock, so you do not want to miss it.
Not dressing up that day.
No, you never have to apologize. You always make us laugh, Mish.
And you can do some of that more in the chat than we can live. Though I did spill a duck word last week by accident with that whistle that happened. Took them by surprise, and some salt tea spilled out.
That's okay. That's perfectly okay. Our fearless leader likes to use those words a lot on his show. Oh, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's the leader.
Yes. Yes. So you guys, we only got a few minutes left. So do you want to tell them, Kerrilynn, like who you got coming on tomorrow night? And
so tomorrow night's going to be a little bit of a vulnerable space for me on Spirit Switchboard at 6 p.m. Eastern. Marilyn Kaufman is coming back for part 2. She is a hypnotherapist. We talked about past life regression and life between lives regression. And I did a life between lives regression with her. And a lot of it was wild. Had a little bit of an existential crisis after, a lot of life-altering kind of things. So we are going to share my experience. We're going to talk about the things that happened, what my intentions were, things that I saw, and how I have integrated some of that, and how it has shaped my offerings and what I'm doing for people. So yeah, that's tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
So we want to thank you guys for being here tonight. Do you have the ending ready, or shall I grab it? Both of us we were doing a bunch of different stuff tonight. We knew we were going to be laid back, and we always have fun with you guys. This is the funnest part of we enjoy what we do, but it's fun when we get to work together. I can grab it. It's okay. Give me one sec. I just have to grab. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to just wing it. So I'm going to say thank you for joining us on Beneath the Hollow Moon tonight with my incredible friend and co-host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and myself, Lorilei Potvin. We also would like to thank Joe Montaldo, who owns the network here. He has many of his own shows and provides this wonderful space for us, as well as Michelle DeRoche, who is our station manager, as well as a host of our own shows too. And you are listening to us on 105.3 FM out of the Gulf Coast in Mississippi, 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. And we want to thank you for joining us. Don't forget, you guys, if you do have spooky stories, we usually have a story time, but we haven't had any. It does not have to be related to the theme of the movie that we're doing. And we will definitely keep you anonymous. If you wish to stay anonymous, we just love to share your story. So please write Kerrilynn at Kerrilynn's. I can't read that, Kerrilynn. Is it Kerrilynn's Porch?
Yep. kerrilynnsporch at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. So, basically, I guess I'll tell you I'm going to screw up our catch line here, Kerrilynn, about basically don't follow the whispers, and join us until the next time. And am I forgetting anything? I'm winging it. We love you guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
We love you guys. We will see you next week, and we'll see you all Monday again too together. So you guys have happy July the 4th to everybody celebrating tomorrow, and happy belated Canada Day to everybody who is celebrating or did Canada Day. We love y'all. Okay, we'll see you later. Have a good one. Stay tuned for Michelle.